You're listening to Nothing's Off the Table, the podcast where no subject is too taboo to discuss. Now, please welcome your hosts, Andy Barker and Drew Del Pree. Damn, that seemed really loud tonight for some reason. You're muted again.
I
We're
was
back
just
to
gonna,
normal.
I clicked it. Yeah.
Wow.
I was gonna say welcome back.
Welcome back, man. It's been a hot minute.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. It feels like it's been, I don't know, a whole whopping 30 seconds since I saw you last.
That's true. That's true.
No, man. God, it's been a minute. You know, this is the busiest time of year. It's finally starting to wind down. Although I'm jumped right back in it. Stuck my foot in my mouth. Now I'm coaching Liam's team, and
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks. Anyway, that's starting. Man, the season starts the 25th, so it's right around the corner.
That's awesome.
Hey, what's up, Chuck? See what I did there? What's up, Chuck?
I was just typing it in the chat.
Didn't even really mean to say it that way, but hey, there you have it. Yeah. So, man, a lot's been going on. Let's start off with what's new. What's new with Lou? That's a tongue twister, man.
I got nothing going on, man. I got nothing going on. We've been training jujitsu, teaching lunch class and kids class. Took one of my guys competed. So I guess there is something new. One of my guys competed and he won gold in gi, and then took silver in no gi. He lost his first match on a penalty, half point no gi for grabbing the shorts or the shirt. I don't know. I didn't see it. Referee says it happened. He doesn't remember it. Whatever, half a point. You know, you're there to win or learn, right? I mean, he's a good martial artist. He had no expectations, so he wasn't angry or upset. He won his second no gi fight against same guy he won in gi.
Nice.
But he did have a different fighter in no gi, and then the same guy. But he won gi with my favorite move, the Keisugatame.
Nice.
So that's my favorite. And afterwards, I was like, "Hey, great job on the." You could hear me in the video. It was a 2-minute fight. You could hear me in the video. Tell him, "Hey, Keisugatame." He puts his arm down, and he does get it. And he said, "Is that your favorite?" And he goes, "Oh my, that's right." He said, "You put it on me all the time." I said, "Yeah, man." But I was like a proud papa. I sent that video all over, man. So
that's awesome.
But
I haven't seen it yet.
Manus McGuinness' his name. He won, took his medals, did great.
It's awesome to compete and to win, but it's even so much more. I don't know. It means so much more when your student gets out there and competes and wins.
Now, here's something I noticed. Haven't been to a competition since before COVID, right? I think. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, etiquette at this tournament was just not there. Just not. And what do I mean by that? Generally, this is how the tournaments have run. Coaches shake each other's hands. Shake the athletes' hands.
Yeah.
They go out, they fight. As soon as the fight's over, my fighter goes, shakes his coach's hand, and then comes over to me. Then that fighter, okay, none of that. I had to remind my fighter to go shake his hand.
Really?
Hey, get over there,
Huh.
So he went over to shake hands, but.
Well, was that his first tournament?
That was his, yeah.
Yeah, so
I had to just tell him, hey, go shake hands. And he appreciated that. He said, thanks for the etiquette. I said, absolutely. But the other fighter never came over. And every coach, I had to go over. Like, they were just out of it completely. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, yeah. Good luck, coach. Yeah. Like just, not even thinking about it, right?
Very weird.
So it seemed like this tournament, the etiquette was just gone.
Was it a local tournament or was it a big?
It was local.
Tournament?
It was local, but even local, that's where I learned.
Right.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing I noticed. That's one thing I walked away with. The etiquette was kind of.
Lacking.
Kind of missing. Yep.
Well, you've been doing a lot of umpiring too, right?
A little bit. Yeah. I have games. Actually, this Sunday, I have 2 games. 10 o'clock and a noon.
I tell you, I try not to do summer ball.
Too hot?
It's just too hot, man.
Yeah.
And the excuse me, especially the tournaments, man. I can't get out there and do 6-7 games a day. Not anymore.
Oh no, man. I don't do more than 2.
Yeah.
Unless it's coach pitch.
even then, it's too much, man. And in these tournaments, that's still the little league teams and the rec leagues around here. They don't do for the most part games on the weekend. They're usually reserved for tournaments. So that's when they're putting in these. They're trying to crunch as many games as they can into a tournament. You know what I mean? And man, those umpires. Oof, I don't know how they do it. I can't do it. Won't do it. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
this could be a tournament split up among us. I mean, he said there were less games this year than last year for sure.
it definitely sounds like it.
Where you are too?
No, from what you just said.
Oh
Definitely
yeah,
less
yeah. It seems
games,
like
yeah.
we had less games this year than last year.
Yeah, for sure then. Yeah, so it's cool, whatever. Although my umpiring is gonna have to start well, I'm gonna have to really cut back.
Well, you're
It,
coaching.
yeah, yeah, really, really cut back. And it's hard to excuse me, it's hard to open my umpire schedule up yet because we don't have the season schedule. So screw it.
Yeah,
Whatever. They'll get it when they get it. If I can only
looks
do
like they have
two,
changes to the high school rules again this year.
shocking.
Huh.
I don't know if I'm gonna
Uh,
do much more high school, man.
No,
I don't know. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
where you are, yeah.
Yeah. Good old boy network and that kind of thing. And, that's if I want to stay local. And if I want to travel around the state, we're talking, I think the least amount of time I've traveled to get to a game has been an hour one way.
Oh wow.
They're usually more than that. So that's getting old.
Oh, man, I'm dying.
The wear and tear on the vehicle, they're not getting home till friggin' midnight for a
Yeah.
4 o'clock game. Um, yeah, that's old. So I'm probably going to cut back.
Yeah, it's definitely cliquish where I am, but I don't really care, man.
Yeah.
And I was on here the other day. We were on here a show ago, and I was airing that laundry.
Hmm.
But I'll probably do some more high school just for the experience, just to say I did. Like I said, I'd love to get a college game or two in just to say I did. These are all just kind of bucket list things, but not really like way down on the list, man.
Yeah. Well, I think you should. It's to say you did it, and then you can brag about it to all your friends if you know what I'm saying.
Right? Yeah. Tell everybody I did college baseball. Huh.
Anyway.
I'm getting a Japanese indicator though next month.
Oh, you did tell me that.
I am getting a Japanese indicator. I better get it. I'll
Now,
confirm that. I'll confirm that tonight.
now is that from your in-laws? They're
Yes,
bringing it.
yes, they are coming. So my in-laws. So for anyone who doesn't know, my in-laws are from Japan, Japanese. My wife is generational Japanese. She's the first immigrant here. She's not even really an immigrant. She's a permanent resident. So she's good ice. but but if you want to check on that, we live at 701 Shelley Lane. if
Right.
just throwing that out there. For those of you, that's not my address, okay? But you could try. Anyway, so long story longer, they're flying in to see Shohei Ohtani. The Dodgers are going to play the Pirates. Excuse me. And so, Dad's a big baseball fan, wants to come and see Shohei Ohtani play. So he's flying here. Now he doesn't speak English. So he's paying for my nephew who just graduated college here and moved back to fly with him. He's leaving his wife there. My
Oh,
mother-in-law is
jeez.
staying there because she doesn't speak English either.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, it's okay. They're fine. They're great
Alright.
people. They're very, very great people. They don't bother me at all. Very nice, kind, always been gracious and kind to me. Never had an issue. Never had an issue with uncles or aunts, any of that. Long story longer again, to dial it back. So he's coming, and then of course, because he's paying for the nephew, the sister needs to come. So now he's paying for the niece to come, right? So this is going to be hilarious, right? My niece has been studying abroad for her degree, like my nephew, but my niece isn't as smart as my nephew.
Oh, jeez.
Her mom will tell you that. So she is learning English in Australia at
Oh boy,
university in Australia. So this is going to be hilarious to see a Japanese girl with an Australian accent. I'm going to have to record something.
you
We are going to
have to.
talk, and I'm going to have to record something.
You have to.
Or I will get her to say something for the podcast, because if she has an Australian accent, I'm not going to be able to keep it in. I'm not. I'm going to be dying every time. I'm going to fall over every time. I am
That'd
going
be
to
awesome.
play in perpetuity on every television Crocodile Dundee 1 and 2. They're just going to run. Just in the, that's not a knife, mate. No more to get to. I don't even know how you would say it. I don't even know how you would
Right?
say it.
Right?
I don't even know how you
But
say it.
I bet it would revert back to the Japanese accent.
It probably would. But it would be so funny, man, to hear a Japanese girl speaking with an Australian accent. I tell my wife that, and she said, "I don't know. I don't know what that would sound like either."
That's
I said,
wild.
"Well, does she talk?" And then she's like, "I don't know, Lewis. We don't speak English to each other." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." I was like, "I got you."
Well, then I guess that answers that question then, huh?
What's up?
There's no accent when she's speaking Japanese.
No accent when she speaks. I tried myself, but I'm like, I don't even know how it would sound.
Right.
But but no. There's no accent. He said no, there's no. But I am excited about that. But anyway, they're coming. And they're staying for 2 weeks, I think. But 1 week, they have tickets to every game in the series.
Oh, wow.
My wife has to drive them into the city
Wow.
every night. She bought herself. It was funny because she came to me. It was so funny. I would have helped, but she came to me and she's like, "Listen, I'm so sorry. I only bought ticket for myself because I thought you probably wouldn't want to go." And I was like, "Yes, we know each other so well." She goes, "So I'm gonna do it, but I need to do a couple of practice runs. You know, you have to show me where to go." So I showed her, right? So I showed her how to get into the city. You know, there's a garage I park at. It's a little more expensive. I'm telling you right now, if you ever go to a Pittsburgh baseball game, I recommend you park at Red 5 Garage. It's right off the highway, and it goes right back onto the highway.
Hmm.
Every other garage has to either drive by it or you have to go past it to get to you have to go past them to get to it.
Hmm.
But Red 5 comes right off. Red 5 comes, and it's 2 streets down from the stadium. It's not even far. It's not even 2 streets. It's like half a street down from the stadium. So it's very close. That's where I park for football games. That's where I park for baseball games. If I'm ever going on that side of the river, I park at Red 5. And the subway station is right there at the basement of it.
Huh.
So anyway, that's your little tip. But he's coming for every game to see Shohei Ohtani because, as he says, he will never, ever be able to die peacefully if Shohei pitched and he didn't have that ticket. like if he went Tuesday and Shohei pitched Wednesday,
Yeah.
he'd be pissed.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him.
So he bought a ticket for every game in the series while they're here.
So why don't they get a hotel downtown?
I,
'Cause they're back-to-back games, right?
I don't know. It's probably cheaper. I mean, you know, we just drive down, come back. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not. I mean, literally, if you go to Red 5 Garage, it's not bad at all. And I would have gone. I just probably wouldn't have gone into the stadium. I probably would just put the seats down in the car, put the pillow on, and you know.
Wow. Really? You wouldn't go see the game?
I mean, maybe I'd go to 1 or 2, but you know, the stadium gets packed. The seating's a pain. It's
Yeah.
really long. I'm tired a lot of times. You know.
I hear you.
It's just I enjoy base. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy watching the games, but you know, like I said, sometimes it's just you get so packed in, you know.
Oh,
But
trust me, I know exactly what you're saying. Um, the last 2 years that we were at the, Harrisburg Senators game, I really liked how we did that, you know, we weren't packed in. You could go in the seats if you wanted to, but you could stay in the little platform area where they had us and they served us our meal.
yeah,
And to me, that was so much better because I didn't feel that overcrowded by all these people. And
yeah,
if I need to get up and move, I could get up and move.
and that's pretty cool that you get to go there. You
Yeah.
know, that they let you guys all go there.
Yeah, I think that's about the only way I can really tolerate going to a game anymore, unless I'm on the field.
Oh yeah,
That's a whole different story.
oh yeah.
But what's been going on into? I know you listen. I know we're not having our segment tonight of the wrap up, but I know you got some stuff at the forefront of your brain. What's happening in the world of politics?
Oh man.
Dems are literally losing their minds. What's up, big dog? And play new ball. That is absolutely
Yeah,
correct.
that's a good question, man. I mean, there's a lot going on. Texas is interesting. Texas is very interesting because a lot's going on in Texas. It's not as conservative as people think. The legislature, the
Hmm.
legislature, right? You know, they do wild things there. They pass wild bills, and they don't pass common sense bills a lot of times. And Greg Abbott is not really interested in fighting, you know. Um, So so a lot of rhinos in Texas, like, yeah, Ken Paxton, who's doing really well against John Cornyn, and then the whole wife thing came out where he's in this messy divorce or whatever. Um, but Ken Paxton would make a far superior senator to John Cornyn. But you know, that's a machine, man. I mean, that is a machine. Um, and you have the Democrats who left the state, right?
Right.
So they've left the state. The House Speaker has issued warrants for their arrest. Gave a speech today, shut off their paychecks, their direct deposit, and
Huh.
said, you know, you'll have to come pick up your paycheck. Shut off their expenditures, office expenditures, and basically he's just been shutting them down, travel expenses, all kinds of things. They sicked the FBI on them. They said, we'll be in session tomorrow.
Interesting.
If we catch
Okay.
him, we'll be in session sooner. Everyone dismissed from today, Friday, until Monday is to be on a 6-hour notice in case these senators are arrested or enough are arrested for a quorum.
Wow.
But here's the thing. It's all a show.
Of course it is. Nothing's going to happen.
Because a week ago, when the judge made the order, they were in session and could have had this vote. But they decided to gavel out for the weekend, and then the senators took off. But they could have done it. There was time to do it. It was not like, oh shit, we only have like, no, it wasn't like that. It was like, we're all in session. We can do this. We can take this vote, get it done. Right. And you'll hear, here's the other thing. Here's the other interesting thing that doesn't get talked about too in the Texas situation with the redistricting. That's why they're skipping out, because it's happening mid-year. The reason it's happening mid-year is because the census year that the redistricting would have happened after the census, the Democrats sued. And so, because they were going to do this. So Democrats sued and the case finally ended. So now that the case is over, the judge said you can continue the redistricting from 4 years ago.
Right.
So this whole thing is just it's all misrepresented from both sides. It's so crazy. So I'm watching it because I wonder how much of what I just said is wrong tomorrow. Yeah, because it's crazy. Like everything, like stuff. I'll be surprised if there's any discipline for any of these Democrats.
No.
I'd be surprised, even in Texas. I know everybody's like, "Oh, Texas, don't mess with Texas." Seems like everybody's messing with Texas. JB Pritzker's up there messing with Texas, and he has to be lowered into a house with a crane. I mean, so it's just one of those things, man. Where Texas is a wild place to watch, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, Pritzker's he's racist. He's a member of KKFC.
Yeah.
That fat bastard. What about the whole oh geez, it just escaped her name. Letitia James. Did you
Oh, I
read
don't even
that?
know. Is
There
she
was,
doing it? Has anything moved on her? Are they
yeah, there's
arresting her?
they're moving forward with the grand jury to find out if there's going to be enough to indict. But
Where's the
it's
grand jury?
oh, I don't know. It
Because
was
that was
just
the whole thing
announced.
about all these checks, Harmeet Dillon's out there writing checks and Pam Bondi ain't cashing any of them.
No,
Like,
uh,
so
she's probably she's well. We talked about this before. Extremely disappointing.
yeah, I mean they are starting to do things. They are starting to move with the grand jury in Florida and everything, and possibly indicting Clintons and stuff. But here's the thing, man: if no one goes to jail, I mean,
It's just
then the
same
coup
old.
was a success, right? I mean,
Right.
that was an article I was reading on the Blaze, right? I mean, if there's no arrests, man, the coup was a success,
Yeah,
right?
you're
That
right.
coup from 2020 when they stole the election.
Zach says it's a big club and we ain't in it.
No, no, we're not.
There's a fact. And welcome back, brother. We're back ourselves tonight. Our first show back in a while. So
My boy used to say, it's us against them, and if you're wondering which one you are, like elites versus bitches. He used to say, pardon my language.
mm.
And if you're wondering if you're an elite, you're a bitch just like me. Andre used to say it all the time. It's elites and us bitches, man. He said there's the only two groups of people, man. No white or black. It's elites and bitches.
That's
And,
true.
he said, and if you're wondering, you're a bitch.
True.
Elites aren't wondering. They're not
I'm
wondering. They
I'm
make a
not
move,
wondering either.
right? I know
I know
exactly
I'm a
where I am,
bitch.
man. I'm in the bitch category.
Wish I
My
wouldn't.
sister was telling me one time, she's like, why don't you write a book or do some of this or do like that or do this or do that? And I was like, oh man, they could turn me off with a switch, man. Dude, somebody could just claim, oh, I fat fingered that and shut me off. The government, I'm retired, man. I'm retired Navy, man. The government owns me, man. I can only talk so far.
Right.
They just turn me off, man.
That's right.
Right?
My little squeak here and there ain't gonna hurt nothing. But
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. But I'm not out here exposing international secrets, man. I've seen nothing.
yeah.
I'm a
And,
good boy who doesn't tell on anybody.
and I know nothing. Just ask my
I
wife.
I've never seen anything. I don't know anything.
I sure as hell can't hear nothing.
Let me tell you, I forgot it all, man. I don't have anything. I collect superheroes. I'm a nerd. They stopped me.
Yeah.
I was telling Andy the story, and I'm sure I told it when it happened. I think I had the pit at the time, but I went up to Canada to fight in a tournament, and then as I'm coming back, they stopped me out at the U.S. border, and the guy just holds me up for a while, and he's just like, do you have any guns? And I'm like, no. And he's like, you don't have any guns? No. And he's like, you're in the military? Yeah. 22 years, because they can see like in the like customs and everything, and like with the ID card and all that.
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, and you don't have any guns? He's like, no. And he like goes in, and he comes back out, and he's like, I'm looking at your record. You don't have any guns? And I'm like, no. And he's like, you are a rare bird. All right, go ahead. That was it. He held me up for that. It was 15 minutes, man.
What do you want you to say?
I don't know. I didn't own any guns at the time. I think he just didn't believe that a guy with my background didn't have any guns.
What does it matter? As long as you didn't have them with you, who gives a shit? It's none of his fucking business.
I know. It was crazy. I think he thought I was like smuggling guns or something. Like I was only up here for 2 days. And then I don't know. I don't know if I fit some type of profile,
Maybe your shit's flagged.
It could be, man. I don't know. It was just funny, man. No, my shit can't be flagged because I had a bench warrant from South Carolina and I flew in and out of the country a couple times.
All right. Now you can't just drop that and leave it.
Oh, it was a long time ago, man. I'm pretty sure I had it. Well, yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah, it was speeding, just speeding.
Wow.
98 and a 60.
Yeah.
And I had orders to Japan. I was leaving the next week. So I was like, man, I'm like 20. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm going overseas next week to serve my country. South Carolina speeding ticket, sure.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm just skipping out on a speeding ticket, and I was talking to my sister who was like, no, there's probably a bench warrant for you. She's like, I was like, what does that mean? She's like, I would drive very carefully through South Carolina. I wouldn't break any laws in South Carolina. I was like, okay.
I think everybody should go to jail once.
I worked at jail. You don't want to go, man. It sucks.
Been there.
I worked there for 2 years, man. It's terrible. You don't want to go in there. You don't want to sit in there. The food's terrible. Nobody cares about it. Nobody cares.
Nope.
Cares. The people who try to care get made fun of. Teenaged.
Well, maybe they should.
Oh man, I was. The jail is fun. I enjoyed the jail. I enjoyed working.
Well, do you have any good stories you could tell about the jail now that you're no longer working there?
Oh man,
I know I shotgunned you there, but you know, if you don't have anything on top of your head, that's fine.
I'm trying. You know what? I'll tell you the. I'll try to. There's so many, right? You walk in and so I was there during COVID, like right before the pandemic or right after.
Mhm.
No, it was during the pandemic. During the pandemic was when I went there, and I was there until it was over, and then I got recruited out of there. Anyway, I was there for about 2 years, and so we have to do the swab testing, and so I went down to do swab testing on the intake pod. We have 2 pods that are intake. You go there and you stay there for 2 weeks, and then you go to your pod, right? But it's 2 weeks, you know. I don't know why. I used to know. I don't remember anything. You know what I mean? It's been so long I forget a lot of stuff. But I'm down there doing the nose testing, right? We've been court ordered to test everyone like 500 times a day, man. Like it's
Jesus.
absurd, right? Like we're in there like 4 times a day swabbing these people, and there's like 250 people. Like I was easily swabbing 600 to 700 noses a day.
Jesus.
Easily, right? Same thing with the other nurses and other staff, right? Easily doing, you know. I shouldn't say no, that's wrong. Probably about 200 a day. Probably about 200 a day myself. We were getting about 800 a day done.
Still an awful lot.
Yeah, it's 200. It's a lot, man. You'd be in the pod doing it. And then you'd have to go back and do it again, or, you know, you miss people, whatever. Anyway. Or you get a positive, now you got to lock the pod down, and the fucking officers freak out, and everybody gets pissed off, and, you know, they start yelling at you, like, you better not fucking lock us down. Anyway, so I go into the pod. I got my little gown on. It's testing time. Everybody knows. Nobody's fighting it. Nobody's arguing it, right? But when I walk in, there's a guy just carrying on, man. Like, I walk in, and he is up on the top. There's 2 tiers, right? He's up on the second tier, and he's just yelling. Like, no, I don't give them no breaks. You understand? There's no mother effing breaks. I don't care. They say it's professional. No, it ain't professional. You don't get no breaks. You see you out in town, you get no breaks up in here. You understand? Ain't no breaks. And then he like comes down and I'm testing and I'm like, hey man, yeah, you're all right. I'll let you test. No breaks. Go ahead, man. And then I just like swab his nose. I'm like, all right, brother. Wow. Then he just keep carrying on, yelling at the guard. The guard's like, just shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear about your damn breaks.
Yeah, so you know that became like a big thing, you know, in medical was there's no breaks. You don't get any breaks around here.
I love that saying, man.
There's no breaks. Where do you think you're going?
Right? That's my life. No break.
Oh man. And then, you know, every now and then wild things would happen. I remember I went to talk to one guy. There was a kid who got shot in the foot and he wouldn't let us clean it.
Huh.
And the doctor asked me if I would talk to him because sometimes I had a way of talking to the prisoners, the inmates. I never lied to them, and I always stuck. I always followed up with what I said. Those were 2 things I did. So after about 7 months, I had a reputation amongst inmates who were there who would tell other inmates that you can complain to me, you will be heard, and you will be told the truth. Right? That I won't lie. You know, so because I would tell them that no, it doesn't work that way.
Mhm.
Oh no, man, no. And I'd say, like, why are you even no one's explained this to you, have they? Because that's pretty bold the way you're asking, have they? And they'd be like, no. And I'd be like, okay, let me explain how this works, man. And then they'd be like, I never knew that. I've had this whole time I've been doing this, and these people just keep telling me to shut up. And I was like, oh, well, that's because they thought you probably knew. You know, I said I could tell immediately, you know, the way you would. Nobody who, you see what I mean? Like, you know, and after you explain to them, and they're like, yeah, I never would have created that much issue over it. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, you know, whatever it may have been, like understanding how medical works or the insurance or, you know, why so-and-so can't, you know, drop this off or they can't have this device or that device or, you know, the big one was always second opinions, you know.
Wow.
Like people would argue second opinions. And here's what I'm just going to tell you from a legal perspective and an administrative perspective. No hospital gives a shit about a second opinion. Nobody cares. Okay. That's just for you to feel good about yourself or maybe try to sue later. But just because here's the thing. No one from another facility can tell me how I do business in my facility.
That's right.
They're not here. They don't know. Right? So it doesn't matter what their opinion is. They don't work here. And here is what is going to do your surgery or whatever. So if we're telling you something and you want to go get a second opinion, you can bring it back, but that's for you, man. Don't even bring it in the building. You don't even need to bring it in. That's just for you. Don't even bring it in.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's you cannot know. They used to happen when I was in Japan. That was even the best. When I was in Japan, they used to be like, "Well, I'm going back to Florida. I'm going to bring a second opinion." Okay, let me tell you something. It's not gonna happen from another country. You mean some guy a country away? Right. I mean, this guy's never even been here. At least in the States, he could lie and say, I used to visit my sick aunt in your facility. I know your lab is substandard. But they can't even do that because so that's why that's why I would tell people all the time, you can get as many opinions as you want to pay for, but we don't care. It's gonna go right. I would tell them it's gonna go right to the bottom, and no one's gonna care because they're not here. They don't know the facility here. And then when I would tell inmates that, they would get mad, but they understood. They're not, right. These guys, they're not. I gotta watch how I say this, right? Because they're not stupid, right? But do they do stupid shit? Yes, all the time, right? All the fucking time, right? So are they stupid? Yeah, I mean, you could say certainly by the results, you know a tree by its fruit, right? Right? I mean, so, but what I'm trying to say is they understand things, right? It's just sometimes their understanding leads to improper conclusions. But you can explain to them, hey, man, this doesn't, no. This is how second opinions work, man. You have a guy from another facility trying to tell me at this facility how I do business. Okay, first of all, I didn't want to hear that, right? Would you want somebody walking into your hot dog cart saying the water's too cold? That's how I'd tell them. And they'd be like, "Oh, I see what you mean." I'd be like, "Yeah, man." So that's why nobody cares about that, man. But does it help you later legally? But it could. It can't hurt. But no one's gonna give a shit here.
That's a callback from a story a long time ago.
Which one?
The hot dog water.
Oh, the hot dog cart. Yeah, in Camp Lejeune. Yeah, the fucking hot dog guy. Oh, that guy.
Zach wants to know, when was officer nap time, or is that just in certain federal facilities?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. I'll tell you what's interesting, and this is common jails around about 30% of the workforce calls off daily, right? These are union jobs. These guys are getting forced. They can get forced. So you got a lot of people working doubles, right? You got guys getting killed in there. And they're not getting the respect of the community, right? I mean, community looks at them as dropouts and things, doesn't look as jailers as, a career. Good jailers are hard to find. There's some very good jailers, man, but you got guys working doubles, triples. I'll tell you this, the whole stuff around the Epstein thing, from my opinion, inexcusable. That would have never occurred at our jail. Never. That would have never happened at our jail unless there was purposeful intervention. That's all I can say. At our jail, that never would have occurred unless there was purposeful intervention for that to occur. Because the suicide cells, you know what, Andy? We'll share a screen for a second. I will Google our suicide cell, and you could look at it, and you tell me if that would have ever happened. And we're an old jail.
Yeah, that whole thing is shady, man. I don't pretend to know what happened. I don't even necessarily have an opinion other than it's shady.
But just for people who may have never seen, I'm trying to find to see if they have a picture of it. I worked at the 12th largest jail east of the Mississippi.
Well, when I worked in the brig, our suicide cells were, you got a paper gown and you got a mat.
Huh.
laid on a concrete floor.
Yeah. Yeah, they have, I'm trying to find it. They don't really have a picture inside of it. Because of course, because I'm looking for it, that's why you can't find it.
Of course.
But bottom line is I'll just describe it to you. It's a bed. Excuse me. It has the toilet and the fountain, but there's no water in the toilet and there's no water in the fountain. It has to be activated by the desk when he wants to use it, and it gets shut off, right? So he can't drown himself in his own toilet,
Right.
right? And he can't like really do anything. There's no door. I mean, there is a door, but the wall and the door are glass. You see everything in there. They are naked in there except for the blanket. So they could have their blanket on, or they can walk around with their shit hanging out, which a lot of them do. They're in there for a reason,
Yep.
right? Not every pod has them. They are special and on a special unit, the mental health unit, which has extra precautions, right? Not every cell has them. And again, it's glass. There's a camera inside and there's a camera aimed at it from the outside. So
like a racquetball court?
The inmate can't go anywhere. Right, it's exactly like a racquetball court. Inmate can't go anywhere without being seen. There is a raised platform he can sleep on, right? But that is solid and it's a cube. It's like a giant cube. He can't get under it. The only thing he can do is go hide behind it, but it's not high enough for you to really hide behind. And so you can lay down there and put your blankets on and go to sleep if you want, or sit in the corner with your blankets on or whatever. But it's a racquetball court. And as soon as you walk in, you can see what's going on. You can't do it. They can't do anything in that cell without everyone seeing. The other inmates can see everything going on in that cell. So that's why I say in our jail, that never would have happened unless purposeful intervention occurred.
Right.
And I can tell you that would never happen when I was on duty. Because I have had people talk to me. Not about stuff like that, but I've had people ask me if I would recognize certain wounds. And when I said I absolutely would, our conversations ended. I know what that looks like. I know what electrical burns look like. I know what taser marks look like. I know what all that stuff looks like, man.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my answer is, yeah, I'd recognize it all. And yeah, I fill out paperwork accurately. Yeah, man. My days of doing shit like that are over. There was a time when I saw yeah, man, that's tactical questioning. Gotcha. I understand.
Yep.
Yeah, all that was there when we caught him, when we found him. Yeah, I know. Yeah, man. You didn't see when he fell, the rock hit his inner thigh? Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Different
times, different circumstances.
I know that well, it looks like where you'd kick somebody, but I'm telling you, man, you didn't see that. But the point being is, the jails aren't like they used to be, man. They aren't like that. Now, do fights occur? Of course, man. You've got adults, right? I mean, fights occur, right? Do people get attacked? Yeah, some people get attacked, right? But the amount of technology and safety that goes on in the jail, people who worked at the psych wards came to work at our jail, part-time, to see what it was like or get the experience or whatever. A lot of excuse me, a lot of master's programs require community nursing and stuff. So a lot of people will come through us, and get kind of that experience, right? So we get used a lot. But it's fine, right? It's a mutual understanding. But yeah, I lost my train of thought thinking about the nurses coming through because I started to think about processing their paperwork. But I don't know. I guess going back to it, the point. Coming from the psych wards, they said they had told us, the nurses that had come from the psych wards had told me specifically they actually felt safer at the jail than they did on the psych ward.
Wow.
because the jail is pretty safe. It is it's the safest out of all your, like, out of state prison, federal prison, and jails. You know, your federal prison is going to be the safest. Generally, right? I'm going to give you general terms, right? Your federal prisons are safe generally because federal prison, except if your last name rhymes with Epstein.
Right?
Right? Or a couple of people connected with the Oklahoma City bombing, but we won't go there.
Oh, no.
Anyway, um, there's still actually a lawsuit outstanding from that. Just remind me to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
What the fuck were we just talking about? See,
Epstein.
now that that's right. That
Safe
federal prison, right?
facilities.
The
Safe
pecking order for
facility.
prisons, right? Oh, I got see. I'll tell you that other story is very interesting. But federal prisons is safest because that's mostly your white collar crimes, right? I know like Epstein got murdered and stuff like that, but generally, kidnapping, thing like there's a lot of sexual predators, things like that. I mean, there's certainly violent criminals, right? Rico statute mob type. Certainly, violent criminals are in federal prison, but a majority of your federal prisons are white collar crime crap, right? Some of them are even freaking dorms. Like, people go out all day and come back and stay there that night,
Yeah.
right? They go to their job and come back. Like, I'll look that up. It's insane.
There's a facility like that in Pensacola.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, these work release programs. And then you have your state prisons. Your state prisons are going to be the most dangerous, right? Because rape is a state crime. Murder is a state crime. Right? These are all state crimes, right? So the state prison is going to be your most dangerous, right? That's where those people are serving life. They have nothing to look forward to. They're on death row or whatever, right? So we used to get those people in jail and they had their own floor, right? Because they're constantly being charged for shit, or they have multiple cases. They get life for one, they got to come back for another. So, so we would keep them on a special floor. And they would have special rules, like during the pandemic. Yeah, I'll let a little secret out. They got a little more rec time than everyone else, because they'll fucking riot.
Yeah.
They'll fuck shit up. Okay, they don't have anything to look forward to. They don't care.
Right.
So they get to wreck a little bit. And they have they're also a more mature prisoner. They don't do stuff like that when they're being treated well. Like when
Right.
like they understand. They
They
have
know the
life.
game.
Right? And you guys can't. And while they can break some stuff, you guys can run up in here with the pepper spray too. And we can cause damage too, right? So
Right.
so they understand, right, that yeah, we can riot and cause problems up in here, but that's reserved for special things. You know what I mean? So you try not to give them reason. So yeah, mate. So I'd probably say the most I was puckered was up there with those guys. Even though even though they were really cool. See, as medical, you really don't have to worry either because they know you're there to help.
Right.
But they will, they'll try their things too.
Oh, sure.
But then jail is probably the second safest after federal prison. Because in the jail, a lot of them haven't been sentenced yet. And jail is for 2 years and under.
Yeah.
So generally, we did have an inmate in there for 7, but he just got life and sent away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he should have been sent away a long time ago. But or at least put on a road show. They should have moved him out of that jail a while ago. I mean, they would catch him with cell phones and all kinds of. I don't know where he's getting it. I don't know. Well, he's been here longer than 90% of the guards. He's been here longer than 90% of the staff. He certainly shows up more than they do. Heroes work here. I say it all the time. Heroes work here when they work. So I mean, look, man. Like I said, those people are getting the shit beat out of them, though, man. They are getting beat up, man. It's such a touchy subject. I'm joking on them, but it is a touchy subject. But anyway,
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the pecking order for the jails and everything, all that stuff. So Oklahoma City, Tucker Carlson just did an interview, and if you've listened to any of my shows, you will have heard me say former Israeli intelligence official. I think I used to say defense minister, though I was wrong. It's intelligence. Former Israeli intelligence official wrote a book on this. He wrote a book on it, right? And I had forgotten his name, and I'd forgotten the book, and she mentioned it. But anyway, she's been following the case for 30 years, man. That was like almost 30 years ago, right? 30, 40 years ago. It was 40 years ago, I think.
It's over 30.
95, right? Or something.
Yeah, somewhere around in there.
Anyway, there were two people in the truck, and the FBI admitted it, and then 2 weeks later changed their story, and then changed everything. And Tucker Carlson was asking her questions. She's like, well, those are the magic questions, Tucker. I have no idea. So he asks her, right? Because they said there were 2 people in the truck in the beginning. And the FBI released a composite sketch of both people. Then they took it back 2 weeks later, said, no, it's only one person. It's only McVeigh. And the guy who helped him, his buddy, right? It's only those 2 people. McVeigh's the only one, and his buddy who helped him. There's no second truck driver, no second bomber. So this lady is asserting, right, that McVeigh was a part of PACCON, which was an FBI program to infiltrate patriotic units, and there were hundreds of agents doing it, hundreds of informants. The FBI says, oh, it was only 22 because they know they're caught. She is asserting, and the Israeli minister said as much, and one of the theories, that McVeigh was an informant for the FBI that they put into this group, but he ended up getting radicalized by them, and that they knew this was coming the whole time, that there's even a transponder on the truck.
Whoa.
And what did Kash Patel say when we released the FBI documents on Kennedy? It's not a who, it's a what. What you'll see is a pattern. What you're going to see is a pattern. So anyway, back to fucking, not that I'm out here making connections. Back to her interview. She said they arrested a guy in Mexico coming across the border, right? You got to watch the interview yourself. I'm paraphrasing. You got to hear her tell it, right? They arrested this guy coming across the border from Mexico. His wife's Mexican, right? She says everything's legal, right? They arrest him. He's a prior Marine or something. That night, they fly him to Oklahoma City because he's a dead ringer for the second bomber that the FBI denies. But they transfer him to Oklahoma City that night. That night. The next night, he's found hung. He killed himself. What do you know? But what they didn't count on was he has a high-power lawyer brother. And that brother sued, and there are still cases going on right now from that brother.
Wow.
Apparently, the warden called the mother and said, we got your son. He's dead. He killed himself in the cell, but he gave the wrong name. So the mother's like, huh? That's not my son's name. So, yes, it is. I got it right here. She said, no, it's not. They said, well, it is your son. So we offer free cremation. You want to cremate? She said, no, I'm going to have to check with his wife. He's not married. Yes, he is. No, it says here he's not married. The one I have is not married. She said, he's married. I'm calling his wife. Do not burn the body. So called the wife, called the brother. The brother immediately knew something was up and has been tenacious for the last 30 years on it. He said they got the body sent to their, personal funeral home, had the makeup removed. His throat was slashed. His feet were burned and tortured and tased. He was electrocuted multiple times, and there were bruises all over they cracked his ribs. They tried to beat a confession out of him, and they killed him. So one of the cellmates saw it, was interviewed by the lawyer on record, has submitted a statement. And right as they were going to go to grand jury testimony, he hung himself.
Of course he did.
So Tucker asks her, like, well, what if there was one thing to do, if there's one thing, right? If you had Kash Patel right here, what does he need to do? She said this was the biggest bombshell of the interview for me. She said the FBI has video of the whole thing. They have the truck pulling up. They have them getting in and out. They have the explosion. They have it all. The security footage wasn't damaged. She said they have it all. It was entered into evidence against McVeigh. She said they just have never played it outside that building. He said, did the jurors see it? He goes, because Tucker was like, I can't believe this has never leaked. She said it never has. It's never left the building. And she said, well, he said, well, how is, wasn't it shown to the jury? Never. It was entered into evidence, but they never brought it out of the building to show to the jury. No one's ever seen it, but they have the video. They have the truck pulling up. They could prove right now whether there were 2 or 1. She said, that's why originally they said 2. She said, who do you think the second, he said, who do you think the second bomber is? She said, I think it's one of 2 people. Both are dead. Both are dead. She said, but it was either him, like the leader of this Republican Oklahoma army, and then they asked why Oklahoma City, and they said, well, at the time, Oklahoma City was a hotbed for End the Fed and a couple other movements that were happening in Oklahoma City. So that was a message. That was a message from them to. So it was a group that did it, right? It was this group that did it, but
it could have been stopped.
That's what this lady is asserting, that it's possible. You have to watch her say it, right? She's obviously been doing it a long time. She's obviously well versed in telling the story. She says it in a legalese, right? But what she's saying is, you'd probably at the end of this thread, you'll find the FBI, because she said one of McVeigh's comments after the bombing was, I was very surprised at the destruction. I was very surprised it did that. So she's like, it's just all around that. None of it makes sense. None of it. And that's what that's what the Israeli minister was trying to. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Can't hate him enough.
You can't. It's like these, and it's like Bobby Kennedy was talking about his dad's assassination. Purposely not investigated. They didn't even investigate it. It's never been investigated. We caught the guy. He's right here. He said he was about to pay $5 million to the security guard who they think shot him by accident or shot him on purpose or was paid to kill him or whatever. And he died like right before the interview. He backed out twice and then died for the 3rd time.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
so again, it's not the who, it's the what.
It's the pattern.
It's Kash Patel said, what you're going to see is a pattern. And then you look at the Trump shooter, right? You look at Oswald. You look at these guys. All these guys are aimless, single people whose lives aren't where they thought they'd be. And they're easily pushed into anti-government stuff. Very easily pushed into anti-government stuff. Again. And what we see time and time again is the FBI is well aware. They're on their radar. What do we have every time? He was known to authorities.
Right.
He was known. They're always known. Of course, they're always known.
Of course, they're known.
Of course, they're known. Yes, yes, they are known. You're not. Yeah. Of course, they're known to authorities. Yes.
Well, listen, I just saw on my little screen there that Connie and the kids just got home, and it's about that time anyway.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, Zach, I want to throw out, Zach had a comment. He said he spent time professionally, right? You always have to point that out. That's what I always say. I worked. Right. But he did spend time at the Cobb County Jail in Georgia, and it was exactly as I described it. It's very safe. I mean, the jails are very, like, again, I forget who said it to me. One of the guards, he's like, but you got to remember, man, everybody's lawyer's on the phone telling them, don't fuck this up, man. Right. Man, it's already bad enough, man. Don't make it worse, man. Don't just look, let's get to trial. Right? Like, just don't make it worse, right? So you've got them telling them that in their ear. You've got all that stuff. I'll tell you what's messed up, though. I will tell you one quick thing, and then we'll get out of here, Andy, because I know you gotta want to say hi to everybody. Juveniles. We had to go down to the juvenile. We had juvenile pod, and they're always king of the hilling, right? They're always locked down because they're always fighting. They're not mature enough yet, right?
Right.
But on their 18th birthday, their birthday present is is an adult mattress, an adult color uniform, and a nice walk down to the adult pod.
Happy birthday.
Oh, the look on their faces when you shut the door and they meet their new adult. Because, the adults are always like, hey, when they get down, come here, boy. Let's not the like, we're gonna assault you. It's this ain't the juvenile pod. You get us locked down.
That's right.
Don't be out here strutting. Okay, you don't run this pod. No, nobody. That man over there with the badge runs this pod. They get the instructions, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
They thought they
That's
were
great.
King Snake up there, and then they
Yep.
turn 18.
Hey,
Hey.
brutal slap in the face of reality.
Hey, Bill, greetings, man. Glad to see
Hey,
you on
Billy.
connected, having a good time, brother.
Billy. All right, Billy, you showed up late. Although actually you showed up early. We just started an hour early tonight. But anyway, all right, everybody. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Zach, Billy, Dave, hey, thanks for showing up. And we will see y'all. Now, are you going to be here next week, Lou, or no? Next week's your travel?
I'll be here. I will be here, actually.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll be back in time. If everything goes well, I'll be back Thursday evening.
All right. Well, in that case, we'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Nothing's Off the Table with Andy and Lou, an Admiral Media production podcast.